go skrrrra, pa pa ka ka ka, skitty kit pa pa, and the poop poop boom, skia.
What's up, sweetheart? What's popping?
Hello and welcome from wherever you're tuned in from. This is What's Popping News, and in case you're wondering, well, this is an in-depth news program that focuses on current controversial topics that affect people around the world and is structured in an episode-like manner, with each episode tackling a topic on business, politics, science, and lastly, fashion and arts. I'm Imran Otieno, but first, let's take a look at the headlines. NASA supporters attacked in Naivasha. In the stories making headlines, NASA supporters attacked in Naivasha, Miguna arrested by the police, Joho supporters demand him to be sworn in as DP, and finally, Aubameyang completes move to Arsenal. Hello and welcome to our season finale of What's Popping News, and today we'll sample the previous episodes highlighting the epic and most memorable moments. I'm your host Imran Otieno. Have a look at our mashup. Our sports photography episode features some of the finest photographers and upcoming prodigy in football who recently joined Thika United. If you missed it, here's the episode. Hello and welcome from wherever you're tuned in from. This is What's Popping News, and in case you're wondering, well, it's an in-depth news program that focuses on current controversial topics that affect people around the world and is structured in an episode-like manner, with each episode tackling a topic on business, politics, science, and lastly, fashion and arts. I'm Imran Otieno. Our art episode today is about sports photography. Action and sports photography is challenging but very exciting. The key to getting good pictures is to set your camera right before any event so that when things kick off, you can forget about settings and focus on the action. Our reporter Waylon Atika has more on this story.
One of the most influential images of 2016 comes from the field of photography. When we talk about visual arts, perhaps there is no better example of the moment capturing than sports photography. I caught up with a professional sports photographer, and this is what he wanted to say.
Sports photography is a thing that should be embraced more in the Kenyan sports industry, whereby we need to make more valuable of our players to be acknowledged for their skill, their work ethic in the particular areas of gameplay they do.
Alright, so sports photography, I think it's a very, very cool and a very interesting aspect or part of photography to look at, because like you get to see a lot of historical moments and like world-breaking moments in whatever game or sport it is. So you get to see a lot of historical stuff, and it keeps history, helps us have a memory of all these amazing things that have happened. Also, like seeing the high-paced like videography or photography part of it, where you get to see a lot of fast movement, emotion. I think that's really interesting. It's cool. Something interesting to grasp upon.
I think sports photography in Kenya has not been taken seriously because our sports industry doesn't grow as compared to international sports. Because you see, in international sports, they take sports seriously. That's something which pays a lot. In Kenya, even the government doesn't take much consideration to sports. So that's why you find our sports industry is not growing, because no one really cares to showcase what Kenya has to showcase to the world.
My opinion on sports photography is that it's not that attractive and it's not that eye-catching, and it's like a day in, day out activity. It's a way that it's a normal life, and like when we have other photographies like modeling, that there's always something new and fashion coming in that makes people get anxiety to know what's in the field of modeling. But when it comes to the sports, it's something normal, something we are used to. Yes.
Hi, how are you? I'm good. Welcome to studio. Thank you very much. So I'd introduce you to everyone, but I'll let you do it for yourself.
Well, my name is Aigoreth Mungai, well known as Kenyan Lens, a professional sports photographer in Kenya.
So what exactly is sports photography?
Sports photography mainly caters, this is why you bring about spectacular sports events and combine them with art of photography, just to bring out wonderful moments during sports activities.
So what are your main areas of focus?
Well, the main areas of focus are football, basketball and rugby.
That's fun. Any challenges you're experiencing in those particular fields?
Well, I'd say one is expensive materials, where you have to buy, for example, lenses, zoom lenses. The other is you cannot freeze any moment during sports because it's already passed, so it's unable to capture any moment which is already passed. Yeah.
There are a lot of good moments in sports. What is your best moment? Is it when somebody scores? Is it when a team scores? Is it after, maybe during the celebration? What is your
I'd say
best
it's the eagerness, one player's eagerness. For example, you score in celebration, and also I'd say it's all about the fans because the fans also produce wonderful moments there.
So, if you don't mind, will you introduce yourself?
My name is Toby Michaels. I'm a footballer. I've played for the past 12 years, coming close to retirement.
So, you're a footballer, and what do you like most about photography?
I think it captures the best moments in football, sports photography anyway. Yeah, it captures the best moments, like the moments where we wish, or if, okay, growing up we didn't have sports photography in the sports, and there was many awesome moments that we never caught, but in professional football we're able to catch them. Yeah.
And which kind of photos do you prefer? As in, when you take a picture, the moments which you like, maybe when you're scoring, maybe it's during celebration, which moments do you prefer?
I think celebration takes it all.
And do you think sports photography is as serious as the other branches of photography, like maybe architecture photography, nature photography?
Yeah, I think it's really important because it captures moments that we as sports people would like to remember forever. You see way back, sometimes you can even see pictures that have been taken from the 1930s, 1950s, and it helps us remember a lot, and it keeps, so I think it's a very important job. If not, all this history will be lost.
That's all we had for you. So if you'd like to be one of the sports photographer, all you have to do is have passion and hard work. Well, that's all from What's Popping News. I'm Wilo Natika.
Thank you, Waylon, for that comprehensive story. We now cross over to our interview segment of the show, where I caught up with professional photographer to shed some light on this. So, welcome once again to our interview segment. You're with me, Imran Otieno, and today I'm joined by a photographer, Dennis Nyanaro, and I'll give you the pleasure of introducing yourself.
My name is Dennis Nyanaro. I'm a sports photographer based in Nairobi.
So mostly you deal with sports and everything?
Mostly I deal with sports, but occasionally I can go to events maybe, but mostly sports. Actually I deal with it a lot because during the weekends you can find me in the stadiums taking some shots, and it actually pays my bills, so I actually have to depend on it.
So I think most events are also during weekends, so maybe you go for the sports photography during the day, then events at night?
Absolutely. Yeah, I usually go for the sports events during the day, and then maybe if I happen to have an event during the night, I can go for it.
Yeah, so our topic today is mostly focused on sports photography. And since you're a sports photographer, I would like to ask, what equipments do you use? Because I'm sure there are many photographers who are wondering what equipments do sports photographers use?
Actually, when you want to venture into sports photography, you really need to invest heavily on the gadgets that you're going to use, because here you're dealing with people who are not ready to be taking photos. They're just movements up and down, let's say at a football match. You can't tell someone to maybe stop, I want to take your picture. So actually you need a gadget that will actually execute its tasks and make sure that you have captured the moment as it is. For me, I'm using a 5D Mark III, which I actually bought it at around $3,000. And then apart from the gadget that I'm using, the body, you also have to invest on some good lens. Yeah, because mostly I use my 70 to 300 mm.
And you say that you call yourself a sports photographer, and yet there are no schools for sports photography in Kenya. What makes you a sports photographer?
Photography, it's not all about what you're going to be taught in school. Yeah, photography, maybe if you can say, it's something that comes with passion. It is not a must for you to go to school so that you can be taught how to be a good photographer. It's your eye. It's something inborn. Yeah, so if you're dedicated enough, if you want to be a sports photographer or any kind of photographer in any niche, you can actually be a photographer. And you can actually be a very, very, very good photographer. If you put your passion in it, if you put your time in it, if you get to learn everything in photography by your own. Because nowadays we have got so many platforms that can teach you photography. Personally, I've not gone to school to maybe to get some knowledge in regards to photography. I've got websites. There's a website by the name F-Stoppers. This is actually a website where so many photographers, it's a community where people meet from abroad, all over the world. They're teaching each other on how to take good photographs, how to take good videos. So you get to learn from the best, and maybe something like YouTube also. I'm very sure that you've seen the tutorials there. Yeah. Those people who have made it in the photography industry, they are willing, like abroad, they're also willing to share their tactics, maybe share their stories on how they became on how they became good photographers. And also something that has really made me grow in this industry is workshops. For instance, let's say if you're a photographer and you've made it in this industry, you can come up with a workshop that will last for, let's say, 1 month. You can invite amateur photographers, they can come, people will learn from each other. It doesn't depend, it doesn't actually mean that you have to go to school so that you can become a good photographer. No, there's so many platforms outside here that will make you a good photographer.
Yeah. And there I've heard it from Dennis, who is a professional sports photographer. Stand by because we have a lot in store. I'm sure you borrowed a thing or two from the interview to help you out in your next shoot. Our hyperlocal report today is compiled by Julia. Thank you so much for staying tuned. I hope you enjoyed even if you're not into photography. Feel free to like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. As always, be on the lookout for the next episode. Contraceptives are a vital topic in the youth today, and if you ask me, it should be part of our curriculum. We had a touching interview that really moved me, and I hope will be a testimony to many. Hello and welcome from wherever you're tuned in from. This is What's Popping News, and in case you're wondering, well, this is an in-depth news program that focuses on current controversial topics that affect people around the world, and is structured in an episode-like manner, with each episode tackling a topic on business, politics, science, and lastly, fashion and arts. I'm Imran Otieno. Our episode today fits the bill of controversial topics, and today our talk is on contraceptives. We'll get to know more about contraceptives, a talk that many people shy away from. Since the past century, the number of contraceptive methods has dramatically increased. Our reporter Winnie Maganga has the story.
Youth around the world, especially young women, experience a high risk of unplanned pregnancy and HIV because of their limited knowledge about sexual reproductive health. We walked around to compile some of the sentiments.
I think contraceptives are a good idea, especially if you start using them at the right age and if you also know the right contraceptives for you.
My take on contraceptives, personally I use them. It does have effects, and no contraceptive is actually safe. They say they're safe, but it also has their own side effects.
Like every piece of technology, I think you can't really blame it for, or you can't blame the people. Okay, you can't blame the people who actually created it, because I will take for instance a spoon. It was created to eat, but someone can decide to use it wrongly. Someone can decide to stab someone with it, but you can't blame the person for creating the spoon. Contraceptives are a good thing, I would say. They have their, they do have their downsides, but everything else also has its own downside.
I think my take for contraceptive is that it's a good thing because it prevents pregnancy if it's in case of a, let's say, emergency, or you were raped, or you didn't want a baby. But there's also a downside about it.
I caught up with two experts who will shed light on our topic of today, contraceptives. Thank you so much for joining us at What's Popping News. First things first, please kindly introduce yourself to our viewers, and what do you do?
I'm called Mabel Wadima. I'm a lecturer in Dayston, but also teach community health in the communities.
Nice to know that. On today's topic, we're going to talk about contraceptives. So what's your take on contraceptives?
Contraceptives have their place.
Mm-hmm.
They are meant to do what just contraception is about, to prevent, postpone pregnancy that's not needed. In the case of a mother, in the context of marriage.
Mm-hmm. Should campus students embrace the use of contraceptives?
Campus students
Yes.
need to be approached differently.
Okay.
There's some who are active in sex.
Mm-hmm.
They need a lot of information available to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they should also face the consequences of misuse and abuse of contraceptives.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also those who are not active sexually.
Mm-hmm.
They still need this information so that just in case they are caught up in sexual matters,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be aware and enlightened on what to do.
Welcome to What's Popping News. Kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Catherine Levy, a Catholic man. I'm from the congregation of Benedictine Sisters. Our community is in Karen, so I belong to the Sacred Heart Church in Karen.
Nice. And today on our show we are going to talk about contraceptives. Yes. And I would like to know the take on Catholic Church on contraceptives.
Okay, the Catholic Church since history has been against contraceptives until now. It doesn't allow any form of contraceptives. That is the artificial contraceptives.
Okay, and that's Catholic Church. What's your stand?
Okay, my stand in the Catholic Church, initially they would say no to contraceptives because they say that it's like blocking God's plan. So you should just give birth and God will take care of the children. But that one is changing. So my stand is that apart from it's not practical to just give birth to children, God will take care of them. I think there are other issues that are concerned with contraceptives, having smaller families that one can manage. So I think the reason for not accepting contraceptives should be maybe because of the health issues, but not just giving birth to children. God will take care of them.
Okay. And what will be, are there alternatives of contraceptives?
Yes, the Catholic Church insists on natural family planning methods, which they teach in different institutions and in their clinics. So it stands only on natural family planning, where there is no use of any drugs, any medication. It's just the cooperation between the spouses.
Knowledge of contraceptives and contraceptive use are important indicators of sexual health among the youth. A wise man once said, prevention is better than cure. Reporting for What's Popping News, my name is Winnie Magaga.
When you talk about in-depth news program, that's exactly what we mean. Well, we'll delve into our interview segment right about now. The next time we all pop up in that local chemist for a contraceptive, I hope we'll all have this episode at the back of our minds. I've been your host Imran Otieno. Feel free to like, subscribe or leave a comment below. Stay tuned for the next episode. With the changing business sector that embraces new trends each passing day, dressing plays an integral role in this sector. I caught up with former Mr. Daystar and an image consultant. Please have a look at this episode. Hello and welcome from wherever you're tuned in from. This is What's Popping News, and in case you're wondering, well, this is an in-depth news program that focuses on current controversial topic affecting people around the world, and is structured in an episode-like manner, with each episode tackling a topic on business, politics, science, and lastly, fashion and arts. I'm Imran Otieno. It's our pioneering episode of What's Popping News, and we have a lot in store for you with our spotlight focusing on business. Why is formal dressing emphasized so much today? The power of suits for men and women may no longer set the style and standard in today's business casual workplace, but how you dress for the office still matters. Our reporter Victor Nzavi has the story.
It's often said, don't judge a book by its cover, but if the cover is really fantastic, then one might not only get the desired attention, but also the appreciation it deserves. Quite evidently, our appearance has a huge role to play in the impressions we leave on people and the way we are perceived in the everyday life, professionally and personally. So if clothes make such an impact, then why must something keep you from nailing it? I sampled some of your views. Take a look.
In my opinion, formal wear is important, especially in the corporate world, because it shows a sense of professionalism, and if you look the part, then basically you are the part. Yeah.
In my opinion, I think people should put on formal wear when going to work, because it's important, as image represents the kind of person that you are. So if you just put on casual or just shaggy or shady wear, you are not going to be presenting yourself in a proper way, because you just look like a joker, and you won't look like you're in the professional industry in a serious way.
I don't think that what we wear should be judged, because there are people who, let me use Zuckerberg as an example. He wears t-shirts, but he's a really big person in the whole world. And in his position, we expect him to wear suits and ties, but he's really relaxed and chill. And I feel like that really paves way for other people who are in business related.
The importance of a dress code for professionalism varies somewhat by industry. However, the correlation between the two is generally strong. Appearance ranked second only to communication skills in qualities most often associated with professionalism. Hello everybody, welcome back to What's Popping News, and with me we have Leo Kevin, who will be telling us more about corporate dressing, what's his take, what does he do as well. But first of all, let's have some basic information from him. Leo, welcome.
Thank you.
So guys just know Leo, or for those who don't know Leo, what can you tell them about Leo? Who's Leo?
Leo was initially a Mr. Daystar University in 2016, 2017, and currently I'm in fourth year. And I'm out here, I'm into fashion, love fashion so much. Currently I'm the brand ambassador for Sajay Suits.
Sajay Suits?
Sajay Suits, yeah.
So guys, on that note, we have finally come to a conclusion on this segment about fashion dressing, and we've heard it from Leo himself, who actually is the ambassador for Sajay Suits. And as I said before, you can leave a comment below about the interview.
Well, I said we had a lot in store for you in the show, and right about now, we'll move over to our interview segment of the show, where I caught up with Crescent Tech sales manager to get some insight as to why dressing is so much important. Take a look. Right about now, it's time for a hard-hitting interview, and I'm going to catch up with an expert who's a sales manager at Crescent Tech. Follow me.
My name is Janet Akinyi. I'm the head of volume business at Crescent Tech Limited. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So I guess by you being the head of volume, you regularly visit the office.
I regularly visit the office, yes.
So it seems that you like formal dressing so much.
Well, one, it's a role in the company that we have to dress formal during the weekdays. Then weekend we can dress casual.
And are you comfortable with the rule? Like, if you could have it your way, would you go with casual dressing?
Rules are rules, so we have to do the formal dressing.
Yeah, but rules are rules. But in your own take, would you advocate for casual dressing?
Not at all.
Why is it so?
Because formal dressing gives you the impression that a customer would want to see for your first visit.
So why is formal dressing so important?
I think it's important because you see, the first image that you give to your customer is what lasts. So if you're clinching a deal of 100 million, for example, if you go with casual, of course, the client will not take you seriously. So formal dressing is very, very important.
And is it important to some sectors only, or all sectors should embrace formal dressing?
I think in some sectors casual is okay, but most sectors formal is a key.
Do you enjoy formal dressing? Like, are you comfortable in formal dressing?
You see, we run a sales team, so for us, the dressing is very important. I love formal dressing, as much as I would still prefer casual.
So what's your stand? Is it, are you comfortable with casual or formal?
For the office, formal.
I've seen that you like wearing African print, maybe on the weekends, like today you're in African print. Would you put that on a normal day, like maybe Monday to Friday?
I think for me as a head of sales, the impression I create, one, to my customers, two, to my team, is very key. So formal dressing is actually the way to go. My casual dressing in the form of African print, I normally do it over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday.
But you should embrace African culture, and formal dressing, most of us, there's a way you can tailor your African print to suit the formal dressing. Why can't you do that, since you do it on the weekends but not on the weekdays?
I think there's a way actually you can incorporate the casual dressing or the African print to formal, but for me I'm good with the formal for the weekdays.
How do you cope with the high heels?
For me as a formal dresser, during the weekdays I'm very comfortable with high heels.
But I've seen so many ladies out there are not comfortable with high heels, but they pressure themselves wearing high heels. What's your advice to them?
If you're not cut for high heels, then you're not cut for it. I think this is something I started when I was very young, so I'm very comfortable with high heels. I can actually run on high heels. And of course, being a formal dresser, I think the high heel gives you the oomph.
So why can't you just go to work with flat shoes? Which one is more comfortable, flat shoes or high heels?
In the office?
Yes.
Or for meetings?
Basically everywhere. Which one are you most comfortable with?
High heels.
Okay, seems that you like high heels very much.
I love high heels. I think my wardrobe, 3/4 of my shoes are high heels.
Like, dressing is so much important. Do you think that hairstyle marries with dressing?
Yes, I believe so. Because if you're doing casual, of course you have to have a certain hairstyle. If you're doing formal, then you have to look the part.
And why is it that most offices they don't advocate for dreadlocks or you having some certain types of hairstyle, especially for men?
As I said initially, I think the first impression about you as a person, even when you're walking in for an interview, is very important. So most companies would not find the dreadlocks a fit. I think when you're going into media houses, maybe for example, or you're doing marketing or PR companies, the entertainment business, then you can wear dreadlocks. But in the office, it creates a different perception about the kind of person you are.
Well, they do say when having fun, time flies, and surely time is really catching up. So we'll move over to our hyper-local report to get some views of Daystar University students on formal dressing. We've come to a close on our first episode, and by now we have a better understanding on why people emphasize on formal dressing. Feel free to like, subscribe and drop a comment below, and also be on the lookout for our next episode.